So I think I cried most of the way through this movie, but for a multitude of different reasons. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel, as well as movie reviews here every week. All of my movie reviews are spoiler free, and I will leave a playlist of my recent reviews linked up above in case you're looking for something else to watch this weekend. So this was a screen unseen that I saw last week, and you go into a screen unseen with the clues, thinking about what it could be, and generally I'm kind of like hyped up for one of the options more than one of the others. But for this one, all three options were really quite plausible, all things that I would naturally go and see. But I was really hoping it was going to be this one because I knew I wanted to see this one. So I Swear is the story, it's a biopic. It is about John Davidson, who lives in Galashiels and is diagnosed with Tourette's. So we follow him from starting at secondary school right the way through to present day. So I think at the end of the film, he's late 40s, early 50s, basically present day. And he's diagnosed with Tourette's at a time when Tourette's was still not a recognized thing. And at the end of the film, again, this is not a spoiler because it's based on a real person. We see him getting his knighthood for services to the British Empire for his raising awareness of Tourette's, of people with Tourette's, of how difficult it is mentally, physically, professionally, living with Tourette's. We see all of the kind of ways he has had to overcome issues because of his Tourette's, but also the ways that he has dealt with just everyday things whilst living with Tourette's. And it was crazy for me to watch and think that there was a time when it just wasn't recognized as as a, a real illness, a real like condition that people could have. Oh no, that's not actually recognized as a condition you can have, so therefore it's something you can control. You know, we know that you're just putting this on. And the misunderstandings around it. There's a really powerful scene in the film, probably one of the other ones that made me cry, where there's a police officer brings him in to do a talk with other police officers because he admits that the first time he met John, when he was arresting him, he knew nothing about Tourette's and therefore didn't deal with him in the way he should have done. And so that's like a massive thing for somebody within the police force to recognize and to bring somebody in to come and educate people, to hold my hands up and say, look, I made a mistake. I've now been educated by this person, and I want everybody else to be educated by this person so that this does not happen again. So yes, it did pretty much make me cry from the start to the finish. There was points that made me cry more than others, but there were also points that really made me laugh because he's a funny guy, and the people that really understand him and the people that really get him in his found family are also like funny people. They're funny characters. So it starts off with him living at home with his brother and sister and his mother and father, and essentially his Tourette's causes his father to leave home. So his mother says. Obviously, from their perspective, that could be the sole reason that he's left home, but it's unlikely to be the only reason that he has left the home. And Shirley Henderson, I think, did a great job of playing this mother that was trying to do what she believed was best for her son, whilst also trying to prepare him for the real world, whilst really not understanding what he was going through, despite the fact that she was a nurse and she worked in the medical field. She did what she thought was the best in sort of raising him to go out into the community. And I think that the fact that she was having to play this person who was so conflicted, she did do a really good job. And then you've got his found family, which was the only thing I really disliked about the film. Was you've got Maxine Peake playing the mother of his like best friend, who basically takes him in because she's a mental health nurse, and so she can see what this is doing to him and how it is affecting him. And she's also supposed to be from Galashiels, and she just sounds like somebody who's like comedically badly putting on a general Scottish accent. It would be like if I tried to put on a Scottish accent now to say some sort of like cliche Scottish phrase. Like I acknowledge, despite having lived in Scotland for quite a while, that I can't do a Scottish accent. Like, you know, I am a northerner from England, and I'm not going to try and put on a Scottish accent, but then I'm not a professional actor. Her accent just made me really angry, like actually properly angry. I was angry in the cinema, and I found the scenes with her, whilst there were a lot of scenes that were meant to be very powerful and emotional scenes, I found myself just getting angry because of her inability to do this accent. And it wasn't even like when you meet somebody who's from the borders and they have that like mix between a Geordie accent and a, you know, general Scottish accent, you know, the borders accent. It wasn't like she was trying to do that. It was just like she was trying to put on a Scottish accent and could not. And so her like own northern accent just came through. It was just really bad. Anyway, back to the good things about the film. The actor who was playing John, both young John and grown up John, um, both of them were absolutely fantastic. I thought that the actor who played John when he was at school and just didn't know what was going on and was having to come across these ticks for the first time and be punished for them every single time, and something bad happened to him every single time they happened. I just thought he was absolutely amazing, and it's probably one of the reasons why I found the film just so emotional. And I think that often when I see children in these situations, that's like the teacher in me that gets so emotional about their difficulties. But I think that anybody would watch that performance and would have some emotion there at what he was having to go through and the way he was feeling. And then the guy playing the older John just did such a fantastic balance of dealing with all of these things that were put up against him, whilst also having this amazing sense of humour and building all of these amazing relationships with the people in his life, his found family, his friends, the people that he ended up working for and with. And you know, they had their own tragedies as well, and so he was dealing with that at the same time. And yet still I had like laugh out loud moments in the film, and so he did a great job. I just think it's one of those films that I think everybody will be able to take something from. I think a biopic is often like that, but this one in particular just has so much like human interest, so much heart in there, because it's not a celebrity. It's not, you know, somebody who went from rags to riches. It's a real person who had to overcome real hardship while still also trying to maintain a real life and live a life that, you know, you and I would try and live. And so, as always, should you pay your cinema going money to go and see this one? Absolutely, you should. It is such a great film. It's almost definitely going to be in my top 10 films of the year. I loved it. I will definitely be going back to see it again. And hopefully, I won't cry the whole way through this time, but I can't guarantee it. As always, if there is a particular film you want me to go and watch this week and review for you here next week, let me know in comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. And I will be back with another video for you very soon. Thanks for watching.